Hey there, beautiful people. It's Dana bringing another daily dose. On this channel, I share everything about being a special needs mom, about my journey, about transformation. It could be marriage, it could be health, it could be anything spiritual that God is taking me through. And sometimes it's something that I've already gone through, and sometimes it's something that He's taking me through right now. And I share it in hopes that if there's anybody else out there that is walking through a specific season, and anything that I share, whether it's something that I've gone through that God has helped me to get through, or something He's walking me through right now, if this can help anybody else, then I want to share it. I feel like whenever we have something, especially a revelation from God, especially if He's healed us in a certain area, we have not only an obligation, but I think an honor to be able to share that with other people. I think when God brings you through difficult seasons and you are able to speak from a place of a testimony of goodness and God's glory through that situation, then we need to share that. I think Scripture even talks about being able to share that. I don't think it's something that was ever meant for us to keep to ourselves. Now, there are times in our life where we do want to keep things to ourselves. We're still walking through it. We're still in the pain and we don't want to share it. But when God gets you to the other side of that and it has radically changed your life, it's almost like you can't not share it. And I think I've mentioned this before. If you had the cure for cancer, would you keep it to yourself? Or if you had the cure for some terminal illness, would you keep it to yourself? No, we would not. Because we were not created to, first of all, to be selfish like that. But secondly, we would want other people to be healed. So this message today that I want to bring to you comes from kind of all those places. It comes from a place of where God has brought me through something. It comes from God using my journey as a special needs mom and a wife and all the things that I've walked through. And I am in a season of transition right now. And so a lot of times I might bring a message that, again, has nothing to do with being a special needs mom, even though this channel is called Specially Empowered Moms, because I believe that our role as a mom or a wife is that. It's a role. It's not who we are. So I'm not necessarily speaking about how to be a better parent. I might give you some advice on that or some wisdom on that because I've learned things along the way. But it comes from a place of you transforming into who God created you to be. He might use your marriage. He might use your role as a special needs mom, whatever that is for you. Some people are walking through other things that God will use as the vehicle to get you to the best version of yourself, to get you from the place of pain and brokenness to a place of being healed and whole. So my journey happens to be through being a special needs mom and a wife and all of those things. So I believe that the tribe of moms or the group of moms that are battling an extreme situation in their parenting or even in their marriage, my heart goes out to them because that is who I am. So that's who I speak to. But this message is for anybody. It's not just for those. But I believe that there is something to be said about creating a tribe, creating resources or a platform for people that are, I would say, underserved or overlooked. Now, I'm not saying that all special needs moms or wives navigating a difficult season are overlooked. I'm just saying I think a lot of times they're not necessarily looking for things to heal themselves. They're looking for things to heal the broken relationship, or they're looking for things that are going to help them navigate this really difficult thing called special needs parenting, whatever that is. And we forget that sometimes God wants to just work on us, and it has nothing to do with your role in any of those. So that's really where I want to start this. And I pray that this doesn't go too long, but anyway, God gave me a word this morning and I typed it all out. I want to share it with you because, again, I feel like this might be for somebody else and it's not just for me. So a few days ago or sometime this past week, I did a video about how, when God brings you into a new season, there are things that you can't take with you. So it could almost seem like warfare, but it's actually the refiner's fire. And he's bringing these things up to the surface because he says, okay, now we're going to work on this. And I used the scripture about the adulterous woman. And he asks her, is there anybody here to condemn you? And she says, no, Lord, there's no one. So he says, okay, I don't condemn you. Now go and do this no more. Don't sin anymore. I told you stop doing this. So that's basically where I'm coming from, that place. So that he's going to bring things up. Now, he might let you be in that for a long time. So I also look at this kind of like cleaning out a closet. Sometimes people will empty the entire closet. That's how my husband likes to clean. Just dump it all out and we'll just do it all in one time. I'm not like that. I'm like, let's clean out one box, put it back, clean out another box, put it back. Because the overwhelming amount of stuff that comes out of something that needs to be cleaned up like that, so even our inner self, can be very overwhelming. So God will eventually get through all the boxes And then sometimes you put them back in the closet and they're messy again, and you got to keep doing that. That's called working out our life and our salvation. But sometimes I'm just not in a place mentally to be able to do it all at one time. And I don't even know if that's actually healthy to do that. So sometimes God will allow you to stay in sin. You're in his permissive will, not his perfect will. He will allow you to stay in that because he's just not ready to deal with that yet. Maybe that's something that, he knows that you're doing wrong, or you know that you're doing wrong, but it's not the most important thing. Maybe he wants to heal your heart first. Maybe he wants to heal a situation first. Then he's going to go back and say, okay, remember that thing that's just sitting on the shelf there, or it's really messy? It's time to deal with that. So that's really where that comes from. So we all have these hidden spots in our life. This is really the premise behind my podcast with my co-host Christina, is called the Junk Drawer Mamas. It's because those things that we just shove aside, we don't want to deal with it, we hide them. Many of us have more than junk drawers. We have junk rooms or junk houses or whatever. It's just stuff that we don't want to deal with. We don't know what to do with. We're ashamed to deal with it. We're embarrassed of it. Or it's just so overwhelming. There's just too much of it. And so then we just shove it, close the door, put a blanket over the boxes, whatever you got to do. And then there's a time you're like, okay, it's time to clean this up. I can't keep stepping over this. I can't be walking over this anymore. It's in the way. And so God is saying there's things in your life that are in the way. I'm doing a new thing. It's in the way. It's time for us to let that go. This can't go with you. So that's the season that I'm in. And I don't know if there's anybody else that can resonate with this. And it's not that I'm doing all these bad things and God is shaming me. Remember, I've said, if you're following any of these daily doses, there is a progression to these. And I didn't even know I was doing a progression. I just opened up my camera and start to speak. I pray before and do some Bible study, and then I share what God has shown me. But what I'm starting to see is there actually is a pattern to what he has been asking me to speak about. And so for me, he's saying it's time to clean this stuff up. I'm taking you to a new place. He's doing a transition in my life. I'm in a season of transition. I'm in a season of preparation. I think I even brought to you that it's like almost being an apprentice. I'm an apprentice in the hands of a master. So a master at something, it takes 10,000 hours to be considered a master at something. But in order for you to get to that level of excellence, you got to go through an apprenticeship. So it's the same thing with our walk with God. We are in apprentice season sometimes where we are sitting at the feet of our master. We're sitting at his feet and he's showing us what to do, how to do that. Eventually he's going to launch us, and because we are now trained and equipped to go do whatever that assignment is that he's called us to do. But in that process, that's when the refining happens. That's when the preparation happens. That's when it can feel like warfare, and it's actually the refiner's fire. So for so long, I was in warfare. I was constantly under attack in every single area of my life. But then I realized that I learned how to take authority over that. And so when you do that and you step into your God-given identity that he reveals to you, and you start to operate from that place of sonship, meaning I am a son or daughter of the King, of God, okay? Now you understand how to operate in that, and you take your authority over those things. So it's not, if it's still happening, it may not be the enemy's attacks. It really probably is the refiner's fire. And he's now saying, okay, this is the next stage of your journey. So from that place, this is where I want to give you the word from today. So think of if you are going to go on a trip and you're going on a journey. This is everything I'm sharing about is about going on a journey. We understand what it means to prepare for disaster. So especially with everything that's happened over the last few years in our country or even in our world, everybody's in kind of this state of there could be a disaster at any moment. So we do understand what it means to have this bug out bag or this emergency bag or whatever it is in case of a disaster, and we got to leave our house quickly. What do we pack in this bag for an emergency? So let me propose a question to you. What if that same bag that you need to pack is for something good, a trip that you're going on? It's not a disaster, so we know how to prepare for disaster, but do you know how to prepare for a blessing, for what God is going to bring forth that is good? So that's where this comes from. Are we ready for that? Is our bag packed and ready for that trip? Because I mentioned before, we all go from transition to transition, from glory to glory. It's not just one big long life story. There's many stories interwoven in that story. And what part of the story are you on right now? What chapter are you on right now? So this may have to be broken down into two messages. So really, that's what I wanted to say. We are prepared for disaster sometimes. I would say most of us can understand that if something came, are we ready for it? Or even if you're not ready for it. Okay, so you know that a disaster could come. We've seen them all over the United States and all over the world. Are you ready if it comes to your town? I'm going to be honest and say, no, I don't have a bug out bag. We don't have this stock pantry. And if something did come, I don't really know what we would do. So this honestly resonates in my spirit too, that I may even in the physical need to get those things in order. There was a time that we had that, I think when COVID first came and we didn't know what was going on. Like, yes, you know, when there was like a scarcity or, you know, we couldn't leave the house. Yes, we did start to prepare and pack all those things. But then as life got back to normal again, you know, we ate up the stuff in the pantry and we put all the stuff away, you know, and so obviously then we had a house fire, so everything had to be packed away. And I think from that point on, when we moved back in, we didn't really reestablish that pantry or those emergency kits and things like that. So anyway, but when you're preparing for a trip, you have to have certain things in your bag and certain things that, you know, can't go with you in that. Like in a bug out bag situation, not everything in your house can go with you. Even on a vacation that you're going somewhere that's tropical or good, not everything can go with you. Whatever goes with you is what you need for that trip. So if you're going to the tropics, you don't need your winter parka. And if you're going to the tundra, you don't need your bathing suit. So you have to know, where am I going and what do I need to pack on this journey? Because God is relocating you. I promise you that you are not to stay stuck. God is not going to keep you where you're at. Again, this is a constant transformation. This is a constant relocation. And if you're in that season right now where you're stuck in one season and moving into the next, this is the time God is saying it's time to prepare. This is the season where he's saying, okay, I'm ready to take you to the next level. This can't go, that can't go with you. We got to stop doing this. So think about like you're sorting through stuff. Have you ever watched the shows like where there's somebody that comes in and a professional organizer comes in? And not even a hoarder situation where that's kind of an extreme situation, but to somebody whose house is just kind of out of order and they're going to get a renovation or a makeover. But then they bring in a professional organizer and they say, okay, we're going to make piles here. One of those piles is going to be stuff that you definitely want to keep. These are non-negotiables. They need to go with you. These are staying in this house. Then there's like, okay, these are valuable. These can be sold, but you don't want them anymore. They need to be sold. Then there's a donation pile. These are things that maybe don't have a whole lot of value to you. They're not something that you could sell for money, but they still have value to somebody, so you donate them. And then there's these are garbage. These need to be thrown away. Nobody would want these things. That's kind of like your life. You are about to move into the next season. If you're somebody that's watching right now and you're feeling this and it's resonating in your spirit, God is moving you into the next season. It's a time of preparation. If you're not ready for that, if you are not ready for the blessing that God brings across your life, it will crush you. It will stress you out. You'll be scrambling to try to find everything to pack in that suitcase. And I've been told by business leaders throughout my entire leadership training and journey that you want to always be ready so that when an opportunity comes, you don't have to get ready. So stay ready so you don't have to get ready. So in this season, God might be saying it's time to get ready because I've got so much that I want to bring you and you're just not ready for it. It could be a business opportunity. It could be a speaking engagement. It could be, I don't know, somebody that comes and says, I'd love to publish your book. Is it ready? And I would say, no, it's not ready, but I'm getting there. So anyway, I'm just saying, that's just my own thing. I'm just saying that there could be potentially somebody that's willing to invest in your idea or is willing to pay off all your debt if you do this and have you move it. I don't know. God can do miracles upon miracles. I'm just saying, are we ready for those miracles? And I had to take a real hard look and say, no, I'm not. Although I cry out to God and I pray for things to change, if he granted them to me today, I don't know if I would be ready. So I'm in a season now of surrender. You know, and I shared this to you. It comes from surrender. It comes from obedience. It comes from trust. That's really where the transformational work comes. But when you get into that place, expect acceleration to come. Expect, you know, divine revelation to come quickly and the moving quickly. Okay, so again, if somebody came to you and said, I would like to buy your house and I'm going to give you $1 million for it. I don't know what the value of your house is, but I'm just saying, most people would say, here, you can have it. But you got to get out in a week or you got to get out in 24 hours. You would be hustling and moving to be able to get that done. Now, again, this is a value of something that is far exceeds what your value of your house is. You would do it. You would do whatever it took. You'd throw things, you'd pack things, you'd leave things, you'd do whatever you have to do. Okay, and so God is giving me the opportunity to not have to rush and stress like that, is to get ready for if something were to come like that. So that's really, I think we're going to leave this on part 1, and I'm going to leave this here because this is kind of going long now. So this is about preparing for what might come. God is giving us a new season. God is revealing new things. God is preparing us. So there are things that have to go that can't go with us in the new season. Okay, so I just want this to encourage you. I'm going to come back and I'm going to do a part 2 on this so that we can have the full message, and I don't want these videos to go too long. So anyway, if you are still watching, I thank you. I thank you for being a part of this journey. I thank you for letting me unfold my life on a camera in hopes that it helps somebody else. So again, God is doing something good. He has a plan for your life. It is good. I promise you. Stick through it. It may not be warfare. It may be refiner's fire. And there's something good on the other side of that. Whatever God asks us to walk through, He always has a blessing on the other side of that obedience. So thank you for watching. And I love you, and I can't wait for us to be back for part 2. Have an awesome day. Bye.